Hey guys, so here we are, and we are getting ready to do lesson 25 of Simple Solutions. Okay, so we're going to be looking at England in the New World, the first colony, and the first time we see slavery in America. Okay, so follow along with me. In 1607, a group of Englishmen traveled to present-day Virginia. There they formed the first successful English colony in the Americas. They named it Jamestown in honor of King James I. Jamestown's success encouraged many more English to come and settle. At first, life in the colony was hard and the settlers struggled. Eventually, they learned from the local Powhatan Indians how to grow tobacco, and tobacco later became one of the major cash crops of the region. A cash crop is grown for profit. The colonists grew large amounts of tobacco and exported it to England. The settlers did not repay the Powhatans for their help. Instead, the colonists forced the Powhatans to plant crops and eventually took over the Powhatans' land. I want you all to put a box around that word forced, okay? Unpaid laborers worked in the tobacco fields of Jamestown. There were two kinds of unpaid labor in the colonies. One type was an indentured servant, who was a person who agreed to work for someone for a set number of years without pay. Often a worker would do this to repay someone who had paid the worker's passage across the Atlantic Ocean. The other type of unpaid labor was slavery, which is a system in which people were forced to work without choice and without pay. Unlike indentured servants, slaves were bought and sold, and they remained slaves for a lifetime. They were considered property. And this is very important, guys, so let's underline this. Slavery in the English colonies began in 1619 at Jamestown. Put a box around 1619. We are certainly going to come back to that when we get to our colonization unit in a month or so, okay? Number one, and I think that we've already done this, in the passage, find and underline the definition of a cash crop. We said that a cash crop is grown for profit. So if you didn't underline it then, go ahead and underline it now, okay? Number two, what cash crop allowed the Jamestown colony to be successful? So I'm going to go back to the paragraph where I see cash crops. It looks like tobacco is mentioned a couple of times, so I know that tobacco is what allowed Jamestown to actually be successful. And those of you that are reading Blood on the River, this is the colony of Jamestown that we also see in our novel study, okay? Number three, in what year did slavery begin in the English colonies? We put a box around it, the year 1619. List the names of the three groups that allowed the Powhatan colonies to become list the names of three groups that allowed the Jamestown colony to be very successful, okay? So first of all, we know that the Native Americans helped them learn how to plant the tobacco in the first place. So I'm gonna put Native Americans, I'm gonna put an abbreviation because I'm out of space, okay? Also, what we know about the settlers at Jamestown is they were all considered gentlemen, right? They were all rich. They didn't want to do any hard work, right? So they had two groups of people actually doing that work for them. In the text, it mentions indentured servants and slaves, okay? So we have indentured servants, and we also have enslaved people as well, okay? All right, number five. Which two words mean about the same? Subjects, freedom, independence, and equal. I would say that freedom and independence mean about the same thing, okay? Ooh, we have a geography flashback here, number 6. The prime meridian separates the blank and the blank hemispheres. So when we think about our Earth, as you can tell, Miss Ashby is certainly an art teacher. The prime meridian runs north to south. Okay, so it's that longitudinal line at 0 degrees. So that tells me that it separates our Earth into the eastern and the western hemispheres. All right, friends, and number 7, they want you to go back to lesson 23. If you are like me and no longer have lesson 23, that's okay. We can just end with number 6. If you do still have lesson 23 because you're a very responsible person, unlike Miss Ashby, you can certainly do these questions as a challenge. All right, but just so that we have numbers 1 through 6, we are good to go.